My name is Rod Kennedy, and I am with Comtech Systems. Our product, Collect, is a credit and collection software. There is now a major focus on making use of the automations available in modern collection software to handle routine decisions and actions to reduce staffing requirements, and for existing staff to focus on activities that benefit from human interaction. In this presentation, you'll see how the various systems in a piece of software, such as Collect, can interact to execute simple to highly complex sequence of events, data exchanges, and only engage operator time when necessary. Collect comes preset with options for a typical collection workflow, so users can get started right away, but Collect is highly flexible and can be further customized to meet the user's needs. When you think of automations, think of them in this flow. Data exchanges can automatically load data from other systems, for example, data files from your clients. Then contact plans automate a schedule of multiple events that you can apply to an account in one step. These plans, also referred to as action plans, are the engine of your automation system. The plans can set up your initial dunning letters, and they will also generate your operator work queues. Then batch actions, such as letters, emails, and promise management, can be scheduled in advance and often run at night so they do not interfere with collection activity. And finally, a robust report system provides management with current data on operations. A key point to remember is this: the level of complexity is up to you. Setting up some fairly simple plans will already save a lot of operator time. Setting up more complex, multi-step processes that use conditional logic will really tap into the automation's potential. Send you files, you can have Collect automatically import them into your system. Our import section would have import maps that map columns into the spreadsheets into the fields in the database that you want to store the data in. You can choose to either build one map and have all your clients use that layout, or you can build maps for each client. This will allow more flexibility with your clients that have limited export capabilities. The import map has a variety of options to control what happens when the account is being loaded and what happens after the account is loaded. If your client sends you the data file via SFTP or via our built-in web portal, the scheduler module can pick up the files and import them automatically for you. I'll do a quick demonstration of running an import manually to see how an import works. As you can see, Collect will display the data being imported and highlights the fields in the map. This is useful for testing when building the map. It is also useful for reviewing maps to see if your client has changed the layout. This is not a screen that you'd see during an automated process, as the scheduler would just automatically load the data in. I'm going to tell it to load all the accounts. Once the data is in, it will prompt you to run the new business plan, or as with the scheduler, it will just automatically run the new business plan. And now the accounts are loaded into the system. Next, let's take a look at contact plans. Collect comes with a variety of plans to get you started. You can add your own, modify the ones that are preloaded, and remove the ones that you don't use. Let's look at the new business plan. This plan sets the account status, sets up the initial letters, and sets the phone contact action for the collector. This plan can be further modified to call the next action in your workflow, such as moving an account to legal. Contact plan events have a variety of options that give them power and flexibility, such as delaying the number of days, only executing the event under certain criteria with a schedule if, or calling other nested contact plans and being able to call more complex utilities. The basic concept with contact plans is if you can draw it out, your workflows on a piece of paper, then those events can be converted into contact plans. I'm going to open up a letter contact here to get a better look. And as you can see, this event has a delay day of 30 days. This is typically based on the listed date. In the description field, I can select a different letter if this one was incorrect. So for example, maybe I want this letter. Going out, looking at the phone contact here, it's set for a delay day of 10 days. We do this to demonstrate how the phone contacts will be set up if you had a wait period for the initial letter to be sent out. One thing to note here is the priority field. This is useful for events that will appear in a collector's to-do list, as it can control how the operator works their accounts. Let's modify the plan to put an assignment to legal after 30 days. So I'm going to go to the list. I'm going to click new, and then in the drop-down, you can see the list of possible actions, including letters, phone calls, promises, notes, and more. I'm going to select plan. In the description field, I'll select the plan that I want to run. In this case, legal. I'm going to select delay days, and for 90 days. Now, when this contact plan is run on a new account, it will queue up the next workflow, which being legal. Having contact plans call or queue up other plans helps keep the accounts flowing with little or no manual intervention. Having contact plans call other plans can also be useful in a situation where you have a standard practice for new accounts, but you also have a client who wants to have their own events. A client-specific plan can call its own events and then also call this new business plan at the same time. Looking at one of the accounts we just imported, we can see how the plan was set up. So picking any one of these, you'll see that it wrote the note lines, set the status on the right-hand side up here. But looking at the contacts, you can see all the automations are now queued up, and then the collector action item being set for 10 days from today. When a collector signs in, they're taken to what we call the work in progress. It's a to-do list that is generated via contact plans or action results from working accounts on prior dates. WIP lists have a variety of settings and filters that allow you to optimize how they work their queue. For our demonstration, we'll show an optimized approach. First, we'll click the first task in the list. They work the account as per your processes. For example, let's say they did a phone call and left a message. So you can click the dial the number, so you don't have to type anything into a phone. After the phone call, you do the actual result. In our case, we'll do a 101. As you can see, it wrote the note lines for me, called home, left message. It also changed the status of the account from new to active. That way, you don't have accounts staying in you forever. The action plan or contact plan takes care of this process for you automatically. Click next to move to my next item. It prompts me to create a follow-up, so I can say in 2 days, follow up. Similar process, let's say I did this, in this case, I spoke with a person, 102, left message with person, fixed my status, move on to my next item, create my follow-up. That 101 plan or 102 plan could automatically create that follow-up for you. Again, fewer steps for the collector. On this last account, let's say we spoke with the debtor and he wants to set up a payment arrangement. I'll type in the code for a payment arrangement, fill in the details. So let's say we're doing a monthly payment for $100 starting on Friday. Click next. As you can see, the note lines were written and the status was updated. The system also removes any queued up letters or plans. So for example, on that new business plan, we set it to go to legal after 90 days. Now that the debtor is making payments, we no longer want this account to go into legal. Collect has built-in automations that allow you to control what happens with promises. For example, if a promise is broken, the system can set the status, notate the account, and send an email or letter, and then notify the collector. This takes us into batch processing. Batch processing lets you manage many accounts at the same time. To do this, you'll access batch processing screen that provides the primary batch process functions available in our system. Tasks can be done in batch are automated contacts like the broken promises or the queued contact plans, grouping accounts together if you have the same debtor and multiple debts, reassigning accounts to operators if you move accounts from a pool desk to a distribution team, running contact plans such as client recalls, preparing for the credit bureau if you report, undoing a letter batch if your printer ran out of toner, processing call campaigns, and changing interest rates. For our example, I'll go through the automated contact. I'll select the run plans and the broken promises. The system will go through, process all of them, run them. In this case, it ran 2 broken promises and it had no future plans queued up. In addition to standard batch actions, custom scripts can add additional batch actions that are particular to your workflows. Scheduling allows you to set parameters, times, repeats on many batch actions. Often batch actions are scheduled to occur after hours when the processing requirements of the batch actions that are often working through multiple steps with many thousands of accounts will not interfere with your daytime activities. The scheduler screen shows the categories of batch actions that can be scheduled. Let's say you want to set up an automated nightly import of new accounts from your clients. You would select the import routine from the scheduler choices and then do the rest of the configuration. Next, let's set up batch processing. You can also do batch letters, and finally, month end. Finally, let's go over reporting. Collect comes with a variety of reports that aid in operator, financial, and client analysis. In addition to the stock reports, we have an open-ended report writer that allows you to build your own custom reports. With reporting, the sky's the limit. Essentially, if you can design it, then we can build it. Here's an example of an operator activity report. The report engine can also be used for exporting data out. For example, data exchanges with skip tracers, sending files for letter vendors, or sending data back to a client. In addition, Collect offers a dashboard with a number of key management functions. Looking at the company collections report, we can see a graphical representation of the listed, collected, and commission amounts. Below the graph is a table that outlines the corresponding data related to the graph. Another graph that is available is a heat map. So this particular map allows you to see where your accounts are being placed by state. In addition to reporting, the dashboard module also has a built-in compliance portion. This allows you to upload documents that are for other industry related or training related, assign them to a specific operator or user level, and then track when the operator has read the report or read the document and acknowledge that they've read the document. Finally, You can also keep track of complaints. You would select the operator, give a description of the complaint, and upload any documentation that was related, such as a letter that came from the debtor for the complaint. You can see that by using the resources already built into your collection software, imports, contact plans, work queues, data exchanges, scheduled batch actions, and reporting, a few people can manage an outsized amount of business by automating everything that you do not need an operator or manager to do. If this is appealing, the best place to start is to make a flow chart of a typical account's progress through your system from new business to closeout, then make use of the resources in Collect or your current collection software to optimize your operator activity. Thank you, and I am now available for questions.